Richie here with a quick video on recall and precision, a couple of metrics you can look at in the world of machine learning. Now, what's driven me to this is, first of all, desire just to do something that's not tariff-based. And secondly, just started doing our office hours for level 2. And in level 2 CFA, you get machine learning, big data, and these are a couple of metrics that kick around. Not necessarily a calculate LOS, but you're expected to understand what they're telling you and how they are used. And I've just got a quick example that I think is quite a nice way to try and frame this for you in a kind of real world way. So let's take a look at it. It is based on a post from Blue Sky. Blue Sky, an alternative to Twitter. No politics here. It just factually is an alternative to Twitter because many people felt that Twitter was becoming too toxic. So Blue Sky kind of prides itself being less toxic, a nicer place to be in the world of social media. But as it grew, as you can read here in the message, experiencing a huge influx of users, with that, a predictable uptick in harmful content. Its whole raison d'etre, its reason for being is to be a nice, sunny, happy place. So if they start getting harmful content, there's really no point in them existing. So what did they do? As a result, we are told for some very high severity policy areas like child safety, we recently made some short-term moderation choices to prioritize recall over precision. They're going to go for algorithms when they're trying to seek out harmful content that prioritize recall over precision. Now, this is a genuine post. This is actually what happened. What I'm going to do is make up some numbers to see how they may have employed this. So can't stress highly enough, I'm not claiming these numbers are true, but they will just highlight the decision they're making and the consequences. And to do that, we'll have to start off by defining precision and recall. And we'll start with this little matrix, confusion matrix. We have in the columns the actual classes of what's going to be for us posts. So we have class 1 and class 0. 1 is the exception. So in our case here, because we are looking at harmful content, that would be a harmful post. That would be our exception. If it's 0, then it's absolutely fine. It's okay. Let's let it go. It's just a, probably cat content. So that's what the two columns are showing you. The rows are showing us our predictions. So did our model predict it was harmful or did it predict it was okay? If our model predicted it was harmful and it was harmful, that's a true positive. Yay us, the model did a good job. If our model predicted it was okay and it was okay, it was a true negative. Model is doing well. In red are our two errors. What if our model predicted harmful content when it was actually okay? That is a false positive, a type 1 error. Predicting an exception, thinking we've seen something out of the ordinary when actually it was okay. You'll know and love that as type 1, rejecting the null when it was true. Bottom left, we predicted it was fine. It was actually harmful. That's a false negative. That's a type 2 error. We didn't spot the exception. We thought it was okay. So we have our true positives and our false positives. We have our false negatives and our true negatives. We can use those numbers, which as I say, I'll make up, to measure precision and recall. What's precision? Precision takes the correctly predicted positives, so the true positives we get right, as a percentage of all predicted positives. So we're looking at predicted positives. So we're looking at rows. We predicted here positives and positives. So that's true positives and false positives. It's going to be this total here. Recall, on the other hand, still looks at correctly predicted positives. So still true positives. This time, though, we're looking at a percentage of all actual positives. So now we are looking at the column, class 1, the positives. We'll be totaling down here and looking at this total. So it's total positives, the ones we got right, but added to false negatives. Those our model thought were negative, but weren't because they were positive. So two ways of measuring the, if you like, success of this model. Now comes the bit I've made up. Let's imagine we have two models that look like this, 1 and 2. Here are the numbers with our confusion matrix. So we have our actual here, 1 and 0. So actual harmful content. I'm saying there were 45 million posts. Let's imagine 1 million were harmful. So if we add down here the actual columns, 900,000 and 100,000, there are your 1 million harmful posts. And if we add down the zeros, the actual zeros that were okay, add those two together, There's your 44 million that were okay. And same thing here, 6 and 4, there's your 1 million harmful posts, and this will add to your 44 million that were okay. Now, what did our model do? True positives. Model 1 predicted 900,000 that were going to be harmful correctly, but also 2.2 million it predicted as harmful when they weren't. Not harmful, false negatives, 100,000 of these actual harmful, it said were okay. True negatives, it picked up 41.8, and you can see the numbers for Model 2 over here. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to calculate precision and recall. Precision we defined firstly, and we said precision was our true positives. So those we got right, but for precision, it's as a percentage of all our predicted positives. So all the ones we got right and all the positives we predicted that were wrong. So for precision, we add across here and we get this total. 2, 2, and 9, that's going to be 3, 1. So we've got 900,000 that we correctly got as positive, but that's out of 3.1 million predicted positives. Only 29%. We predicted 3.1 million harmful posts. Only 900,000 were actually harmful. Model 2, same calculation. Well, true positive 600,000. But look, 600,001 to add across to here, only 700,000 that it picked up. It got 86% of its predicted harmful text right. So if you're basing it on precision, Model 2 looks much better. The way to think about it, Model 2 has gone in with a scalpel. It's very precise. It's gone in and said, I'm really going to try hard just to only pick out harmful posts. Model 1 goes in with a bludgeon and just says, look, I'm going to pick up anything that's not a cat falling off a high shelf or knocking a vase over or something like that. I'm going to pick up everything that's mildly critical. If it's got a mildly critical word in it, I'm going to pick it up. Hence, it got 3.1 million. So yes, it picked up 900,000, but it's because it picked up a huge number of posts. What about recall? Well, this is what the post from Blue Sky said we were going to focus on, recall. We'll look at the true positives, those we picked up, so it's still going to be the same 900,000 here, but we are looking at that as a percentage of the actual harmful posts. So now we're totaling this way, down to this 1 million. So true positives and false negatives, every post that was harmful, there are 1 million of them. And Model 1 picked up 90%. Model 2, this is still obviously going to be 1 million, it picked up 600,000. So if you look at recall, well now, Model 1 looks better. On the basis that you just want to get as many of the harmful posts as possible, you are picking Model 1, prioritizing recall over precision. But what is the implication of that? Well, to get these 900,000, you had to flag 3.1 million. As I say, you went in with a bludgeon. It's not particularly a genius model, this. It's just the fact that, look, if I'm going to flag 3.1 million of them, by dumb luck, I'm going to pick up most of the harmful posts. But the consequence is an awful lot of posts that were absolutely fine got flagged. And what happens on social media if you get flagged? You're going to get suspended. There's going to be an investigation before you get your account back. So that is the decision Blue Sky had to make. Are we willing to prioritize recall, which means picking up most of the harmful content, but at the expense of having an awful lot of users suspended and having to go through a huge appeals process? Well, the answer, given the post they put up, is yes. And that is exactly what happened. As we've said, we're prioritizing recall over precision. It results in over-enforcement, temporary suspensions for multiple users. If you're willing to put up with that, fine, you prioritize recall. If, on the other hand, you are more worried about incorrectly flagging defects, then you would have prioritized precision. Now, obviously, I've picked numbers there that make these two models look extreme, so You're probably thinking, well, surely there's a balance between them. Well, yeah, you can go on, you can look at accuracy, you can look at F1 as a metric. So I invite you to go in and do that. This is just a nice in to those metrics to get you thinking about machine learning and how you can kind of look in a level 2 CFA exam, think how's this going to be examined? It's just the impact of which one you prioritize. So nice little way of thinking about it, and 10 minutes of your life that didn't involve tariffs.